Welcome to this Coffee with the Editor with the acting CEO of Kenya Airways, Captain George Kamal, here at the inaugural MRO conference hosted by the African Airlines Association, AFRAA, in Addis Ababa. Captain George, why is MRO so significant for Africa?
This event is a major event for us. And let me start with Africa. Africa is one of the youngest population. The expectation 2044, we are expecting approximately to double the number of aircrafts we have, up to, I believe, 1,600 in order. Yeah. So this is a big number. Accordingly, you're looking as well at 74,000 professionals required in Africa. That will demand a lot of maintenance. Yeah, when you have this number of aircraft, there is a lot of demand on maintenance. The age of the aircraft is 15.1 years. This is the age, which considered a little bit of an old age, older than the usual market by about 5 years. When the equipment is old, you need more maintenance. Yeah, and it needs facilities. It needs professionals with license. And
on that type, so your older fleet and then your new fleet, so it's more people?
It's more people. And today you saw, I asked the question to the professionals from training. I said, what are we doing? What are we doing? We need to wake up. As Africa, we're a consumer. And this cannot maintain to be a consumer. I'm not speaking only Kenya Airways. So I'm here in the capacity of chairman of the AFRAA. So speaking for all the African airlines, we cannot maintain this. We cannot do the same thing year on year and expect a different results. We have a fragmentation. If you are an engineer, so let's move to Europe. Yeah. If you are an engineer in Brussels, you can move to Frankfurt. You can work there. You do a small couple of days familiarization for the company you're going for, but your license is the same license. If you're coming from Joburg to work in Kenya, I will have to do a full course and I will have to do exams and your life is in a different area.
Crazy, because like a 737 is a 737, whether it's here or there.
No, I'm not sure what, this is not sure what you've done there. I'm not sure if you're, this brings me to a point, unity, brings me to a point of regulatory requirements. And this we cannot do as an operator on our own. As AFRAA, we have certain push, but we need the support. We need the government. We need a lot of support to support this initiative. I'm speaking to other airlines to work together and do the school program. Yeah. So we do a program in the school from the primary school going up, aviation sector in general, piloting, maintenance, and data specialists and all this. So you can specialize from an early age, so you can reduce the amount of time lead after the undergraduate degree, because you've been in this for years and you do internships when you're young, so you know hands-on all the way up. Today I want to do it in Kenya, I want to do it in Ethiopia, I want to do it in Joburg, I want to do it in Egypt, I want to do it in Morocco, and I want to do it across. Yes. Because it doesn't matter where are you from. It doesn't matter your passport says what, but it matters you're from this continent and you will serve the continent. Yes. You'll serve anywhere. So I'm preparing him. So if he's Kenyan, I'm preparing him for Kenya, but he can't be prepared in Ethiopia because there is a slot available there. And he comes back to Kenya and work for Kenya, which is okay. Yeah. And then we generate a generation which can go to the Gulf, 4 or 5 years in the Gulf. Yeah. And then they come back, get experience, come back to Kenya, come back to Ethiopia, come back to South Africa.
It's not just the people, it's the parts. Okay. All right, so there's also this disconnect between, I think, the OEM and the airline and Africa. Are we forgotten, or is it just everybody's having the same problem?
The problem is there everywhere, okay? But it is exaggerated in Africa a little bit. Or it's more in Africa a little bit. If you are a big carrier, major carrier, Africa is fragmented, small carriers everywhere. Except a few are a big carrier. You're talking about 4 or 5 the 4 or 5 big in Africa, but I'm speaking, generally speaking. Number one, the turnaround times increase. I'll give engine, for example, which is major part, increased from 90 days to 120 plus days. This is one. Second, it used to be before, for every 10 engines, you have 1 engine spare. Yes. Now it tells you no, you need 12%. So there is a new recommendation that you increase.
But how do you fund that? That's expensive.
In Africa, funding is a problem. And today, to buy anything in Africa, you come and buy an aircraft. I pay more because of the risk. They see a risk in Africa, so the lenders, to lend you money, they have a risk, so you have to pay more. The lessors, you have to put a security deposit, which is 3-4 times anybody else.
Yeah.
Where do I get all this money from if I have all this cash? And at the end of the day, if you see the IATA latest report, I don't know if you've seen, for the profit per seat in Africa.
Yeah.
It's 1.4 in $1.4 in 2025, and in 2026 it's projected to be $1.3. And you know what? This is IATA, not me. In the Gulf, it's $28, 28.9.
When we were in Angola not so long ago, we were having the same conversation about America, Europe, AUE, and Africa, and the per-seat profitability. So it kind of makes it look like this is a real bad business to be in. Like, you're not making money here.
Look, and I wouldn't say it's a bad business. There are ways to make money.
Yes.
And that's why you have 4 or 5 airlines who are
really big.
In Africa. We consider them resilient.
Okay.
Resilient, yeah? They are standing. So if you look at Ethiopian Airline, it's 80 years old. It's 80 years. They are celebrating 80 years this year. Kenya Airways is celebrating next year 50 years. We passed through all this pandemic. We passed through all the issues we had. So it's a resilient. It is standing there, and it will remain. But for a few reasons. One, it's a national carrier still, so it supports the national interest, and it's a national asset. The second one, it was a very, very clear during the geopolitical issue in the Gulf that you need a national carrier somehow. It's a tunnel for you to get in and out from your country. Okay? Repatriate the people. Repatriate, bring people back. And a third one is we worked hard on other areas of ancillary like MRO. So we have about 28 as Kenya Airways customer airline, which is very profitable. The MRO is a very, very profitable business from the man hours, the work, the labor work. But when it comes to spare parts, I get stuck with a turnaround time for a spare part, the availability of spare parts.
But that's not just affecting your MRO business, that's affecting your business as an airline.
Yes.
You're beholden to the same issue
So
as your balance sheet.
if you look at,
recently said.
you're taking me there. I'll take you there.
That's the journey I'm taking you on.
Which is fine. Which is, we spoke about it. 1787 on the ground
Yes.
for 6 months.
That's a lot of money. You know,
Yeah.
like,
You know how much?
you're going to tell me.
$32 million.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah?
That's for 6 months. Losses.
Why is it on the ground?
Because definitely no airline wants an aircraft on the ground. I want the aircraft to fly.
It's an asset that...
Yes, no, we want to fly. We want to make money because it's $1.30. I want to make it, yeah? Even for that. I want to make it. I have a cargo.
Yes.
And you increase your profit by cargo because you have a cargo as well. This cargo you lift, it makes money. So those 3 aircrafts grounded at the time because of the engines. Engine turnaround time increased from 60 days to 120 days in 2025. In addition, some parts are not even available. So you go,
Why?
it's a supply chain in general. Supply chain, what happened after a pandemic, and this is what I'm aware of.
Okay, so this is still a pandemic issue. But it's now time now.
It's time, but you remember the people who were working into the OEM, in the workshops, the engineers and all of those have been are gone.
But aren't there guarantees put down in place? Like when you decide to buy that aircraft that comes with that engine. I'm not saying you specified that engine. I'm just saying you agreed to buy that aircraft from that OEM that happens to come with that engine. Isn't there like some kind of, I want to say warranty, but it's not, that's not the right word.
They used to be the GTA.
Yes,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, I don't want to specify engine type. They used to be the GTA, which is stopped for some reason or another. So now it's a time and material, and it's on your own. You're on your own, meaning you take the engine to the shop. The other engines, they are still GTAs. You take the engine to the shop, or power by the hour. You take the engine to the shop, put it in the shop, you have to pay. You know how much is the engine shop? Engine shop is about between 12 to 15 million dollars per engine. For 2 engines, $30 million. For an aircraft which is profitable, $1.3 per seat, it's tough. I am aware that if you are an airline in a different continent, you will be able to have cash or have a support from the government for subsidizing the fuel, or support with taxes, or support XYZ. Some of the airlines are, and some of the airlines are working. Yes, they do supports in the last years, but after that we continue on our own. So today, what brought those aircrafts on the ground? Number one, engine slots. And you know how many engines are awaiting a slot? 95.
Of yours or in total?
Total.
Oh my goodness.
On total. Now, what is the main problem with Kenya Airways? Did we plan right? Yes. But what happened? What happened? In the old days, those aircrafts have been bought in the same vintage, same year, same time. Okay?
Oh, so everything comes to a head at exactly the same time.
Exactly. And all of them are doing the same sectors. Yeah?
Right. So okay, not bad planning, because you want to standardize, you want to have things, okay, but there should be a second.
So now you have nine 787s coming at the same time. You will have an engine visit, a job visit at the same year.
For
9 aircraft.
times 2 engines.
18 engines.
At 15, what did you say, 15 million an
15
engine?
million an engine.
So how's your balance sheet doing? Because it wasn't looking great.
So now, when you have 2 aircrafts on the ground, let's go to the numbers. So what happened is the following. What happened is we started working on the engines slowly from the operating revenue. We take and we immediately send an engine to the shop. Takes 120 days. We wait for it. It comes back. We operate an aircraft with 2 engines and slowly and send the next one. Managing that kept 2 to 3 aircrafts also alternating on the ground, which is fine. Now, which is happening here in Ethiopia, happened to a lot of airlines. If you look in Ethiopian Airline, he has 787s parked, 3 of them there. A lot of airlines are. But now we said 1 aircraft on the ground costs you about $32 million per 6 months. So per year is $64 million.
And you've got how many on the ground?
At the time, we always have 2. We always had 2. $64 million times 2 aircrafts is $128 million. What is our actual losses? 17.2 billion Kenyan shilling, which is equating to $133 million. So 128 is because of the 2 aircrafts.
So.
Okay? We recovered as much. We had total. So we had those. We had the Embraers.
Yes.
We had Embraers on the ground. So with the Embraers as well, waiting for engines, waiting for landing gear. We wait for engines, we wait for landing gear. Comes at the same time. Now, there's something bigger. Those aircraft are due for 12 years check.
On at the same time.
Same time. So I started it at the same time. So,
wow.
But our plan was, okay, we will do it in-house.
Okay. Because you can do it in-house. You have the capability.
We have the capability, but we've never done it before.
Are you certified?
Yes.
You're certified to do
Yes.
it. You do it for other customers.
Yeah, no, we've never done it to anybody. We certified our people.
Yeah.
We got now Boeing to support us.
Yes.
on site.
Yes.
We are doing the first aircraft, and it's going to be released in the next 15 days.
Okay, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
And how long did it take?
It should take typically 35 days or so.
Yeah.
We took a little bit longer because it's the first one.
Just to check.
Yes, and took about 2 months and a half now, 2 months and a bit, and it's going to be released. We'll get the second one to come in before the high season. I'm trying to push before the high season. So I get in the high season with at least eight aircrafts out of the 9.
That you've done internally?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's great, and that's the
That's
capability that we're talking about, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's actually the purpose of this MRO event.
Exactly.
So my next question to you, and maybe it's like a combination of Kenya Airways and you know, your role as the AFRAA chairman, is part of our problem that we don't coordinate. So if we took all the fleet on the continent, we had a list. I'm sure you got a list of who's got what, how old it is, what it needs, when it needs. Sure, we have that information. Then surely we can coordinate what that economy of scale is to actually entice our OEMs to acknowledge that a base needs to be set here from a manufacturing point of view. You know, we talk about industrialization, we talk about local content. We can't put it in every country, but we can maybe, you know, put it in quarters so that we can serve.
True.
Is that a doable, driven proposition?
That's the only way to do it.
So how
There is no other way.
When you're doing it?
Now.
I want to drive.
We are going for a meeting
Yes.
now at 3 o'clock, and one of the discussion topic between us and Ethiopian Airline, how we can do this now, because the OEM. Can I ask a question? I'll ask you a question. I know you asked me, but I'll ask you a question now. If I am the OEM,
Yes.
do I want this collaboration to pressure me? Do I want it? Do I want to be pressured and put a pressure on me to be forced to do something? I am not implying anything, but I'm just going to leave it there. Okay? But I am stating that we are the ones.
You're the customer.
We need to get together
Yes.
to achieve our goal.
Yeah.
You will not achieve by the OEM and come and tell you, please, can you get together to come and put a pressure on me to give you a better prices, a better turnaround times. They will not tell you now. Yeah. So if we don't,
This is it.
and remember when we were talking out there, I said if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yes.
Yeah. And if they don't, if we as Kenya, Ethiopia, South Africa, all the countries, Rwanda, Angola.
And it needs to be collective. It needs to be collective because that's how you drive the conversation.
In my speech today, I said it's enough planning. It's enough. We are a good potential.
Yes.
Let's execute. Let's move.
Go.
And that's what I told the team. We need to start executing now. There is no time to waste. So I think we're coming out of this forum
Yeah.
with
Deliverables.
deliverables and a different approach. Different approach that we will sit with the airlines. We're meeting with Mesfin, the CEO of Ethiopia. We're meeting with Egypt Air on the 5th. We're meeting with Rwanda Air after. So I'm going there.
Good.
I'm going to sit there. I'm going to try.
Because it's also a pool, hey? So like once every airline can document exactly what it wants, what each of them need based on the timelines, you can then even put together the pool of assets of who's got what in case you need it sooner.
I said it in my speech today. Let's get away from the ego and look at the ecosystem. Ecosystem, it doesn't work.
No.
I am Kenya Airways with a big ego. This is Ethiopia with a big. Let's get together.
Yeah.
Let's look at the ecosystem we're in. Do exactly what you said. Get together. We will succeed. Without being together, it's not going to work. This is one. And not only in maintenance. Maintenance because we're today in MRO, so we're speaking about it. But let's speak on ground handling.
It's the same thing. Same thing
same.
applies.
When you get an African country to land there, in your country, please consider that he is from Africa. Consider the value of the Prophet is $1.3. Please consider that.
Yeah.
He's like you. Yeah. So that's where from African perspective. Now the cargo.
Yes, I wanted to talk about Chicago because you've now bought. Okay, you were telling me about fleets yesterday.
We have 4.
Yeah.
two 737-800s
Yes.
and two 737 Classics. Classics, each one is 15 tons, so that's 30. The 737-800, 2020, that means 40. So the total is 70 tons.
Yes.
That gives you approximately, with the belly altogether, that gives you about 11% of market share. Can you imagine, you're sitting at your home, and I'm giving you the kitchen and part of the reception at your home, yeah? So
Pretty good.
I'm not happy with that.
You want
I want my house.
But there is more to be made.
I want my house back.
Yes.
And that's what I did. So I went and we made a deal with some operators to have a cargo capacity, to buy the cargo capacity. I don't have a lot of cash, so to convert that to get to revenue without paying a lot of cost is to get a cargo capacity. So we made a partnership on the cargo, on the 747, which is 110 tons per day. So we became 180 tons, which is 28.4%
Yes.
of market share today.
Good.
I used to be 3% of market share in Africa, 2 to 3% in Africa. I'm expecting at the end of the year 15% of market share in Africa. And expected in my home to be beyond 40% of market share. And that's non-negotiable for us. No negotiation regarding this. We're going to 250 tons plus. And primary focus 2026 is cargo, because I want to recover. So if you want to recover with $1.3 per seat, you will recover what? Yeah, it will keep, very thin margin. Anything happens, Forex, fuel,
It's impacts. Yeah.
you fall either left or right.
Room.
Exactly.
Wiggle room.
No room to. So now what I'm looking at cargo. With the cargo, this is a first priority for us for this year. So we're going from 70 tons to beyond 250 tons per day.
Wow. Per day?
Per day. So I have the aircrafts per day, this capacity. Today I have 180. So we went from 70 to 180
Okay.
in the last 3 months.
And that's better than the $1.3. Hey?
It supports the $1.3. So because the passenger service has to continue, it's an economy of scale.
Yeah.
We have to have more seats. Why do we have the $1.3? Because as African Airlines, we have a high cost with a limited seat capacity. So we need to increase the seat capacity so we can actually reduce the unit cost. That's what we are doing today.